Hi, everyone, again. I'm Kirti, and as you can see, that's me. I have always been an engineer. I started my career as an engineer, but while growing up, when I was little, I always wanted to work in fashion. I would make my own clothes. So if I had to go for a movie on the weekend, I would hand stitch the garment, hand paint all over it, and wear it to the movie on that weekend. So it was a huge passion of mine, but like all good Indian kids, I became an engineer. Um, During the course of being a techie, I had the chance of going back into fashion when an organization that used to make handmade products in rural India was not doing too well and needed to revive itself. So I took on that project, and in the last 6 to 7 years, it grew from 350 artisans to about 30,000 artisans being benefited by that platform. Last year, I came back into tech and launched a company called Relove. It's a tech product that enables a resell button on fashion websites. Almost 50 fashion brands are using this technology to resell a piece of clothing from one customer to another and ensuring circularity. I am soon to launch a new tech product that we've been working on in the generative AI space. So the image that you see on the left of me has been generated. It's been AI generated. I did not go to Paris, and I do not have a white business suit. Um, so uh, we've been working on this tech, and AI is so new in the world, right? For a little while now, and we work with brands in the US. Most of our work revolves around plus size representation of garments. Um, and a lot of beautiful editorial shoots, like the ones that you see in the images right there. That garment has been placed on a plus size woman and a woman walking in New York. So that's enough about me, and we should hop on to talking a little bit about live selling. Um, why, right? Why is it even a thing? And it's grown to become such a huge thing, more so in some countries. Why? I feel like it gives a customer um, closer to an actual walk into the store experience. It's closer to how they would feel if they'd actually gone to a place. There is a little bit of a sense of urgency, that okay, I want this dress maybe tomorrow evening. If I see it in the live, I can order it. If I'm getting a certain discount in the live, I can order it right now. If I have some questions about the product, I can ask them immediately as opposed to waiting. The video that you see on the right is one of the lives that I'd done from this store that I launched about 3 to 4 years ago. I think the day, the day we launched the store, we heard about the pandemic, and then that was a big bummer. And we had to do live selling because that was the only way we could sell in the pandemic. So this is one of the lives that I'd done, and you know. Sections of the store that I used to walk everyone through and then sell during the live. So when it comes to questions and answers, a lot of the questions are about the price, about the fabric, about the fit, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go ahead. Human interaction, right? They say that people buy from people, and when they buy from a website, they're not buying from you. And so you get a chance to be the face of your business in a live selling session. And lastly, you could also drive traffic to your website uh, and sell in real time while doing the live session. So, I'm not gonna make you watch the whole live, but you can see how it's like really showcasing the embroidery of the product. I'm walking them through as if they were a customer going through the store, looking at different sections of the store, different products. And then finally also ending up trying on some of the garments, or getting an intern or getting somebody else in my office to try on some of the garments. I remember taking questions here, uh, and also talking about certain artisans, certain crafts that were really famous at the time and really in style. I'm going to not show you the whole video that you can always watch online, but let's go ahead and talk about how to get people to attend your live, right? And I thought, when I was thinking about doing this session, I thought that everyone kind of knows how to do sell live. If you have a business, you kind of know what to do on that day. But what's really tough is to get people to actually come to your live. So I'm going to talk about a few things here. Number one being a complete drip campaign for the invites. So, say you have a customer base of just about 100 customers that live in the area, that they come to you regularly. Just sending them one invite is not enough. And working in a tech company, we've understood what a drip campaign looks like. And trust me, it works, right? And so I'm going to tell you what tech companies do to sell software, and you can deploy that to actually inviting people to your live. So start 2 weeks before the live session, your first invite, and then maybe have a series of 5 follow-ups. The follow-ups should be a conversation. It should not be the same thing again. So you invite them saying, I'm doing this live. And the next message can be, hey, I'm going to teach you how to do this during the live session. And hey, this new 5 new dresses came in, and I'm going to include that. I hope you're coming for the live. And then one day before the live, and then on the day of the live, to reconfirm if they are coming in. Trust me, people today are using this to get confirmations for their parties, and it works so beautifully, right? The second one is a today offer, right? So, what if we said that if the item is purchased within 5 hours of the live session, then this offer applies, right? So, they've seen the product, and they are forced to actually place that order immediately after the session. And then there is a particular offer that is shared only during the live session. So only people watching the session can see that code, and that code is only valid for a few hours. Um, Thirdly, I think people love coming to learn something, right? And like, it shouldn't be the whole life, but there should be a part of it that teaches them something. So, how about in the end, I'm going to show you the best way to put a button on really quickly, right? And like, you'll be surprised how few people know how to sew a button onto a shirt, and how few people know how a graphic design is produced, or how you design that print, or how to wear a headband 3 ways. Next, I want to talk about building a community. Everyone's suffering from loneliness. And when people come into a life, if they talk to each other, it builds a community. But on a general life, they don't usually talk to each other. So, how can you get them to talk to each other? How about you do a live session for size 8 shorties, right? People who are short and they're size 8. And now in the live, when I come, I know that everybody else has a common thread here. And then you will see that the conversation is a lot more relevant. People will want to talk to each other, and they will actually find body doubles of each other, which also means a lot of swapping can happen between them. And they will credit you for all of this community that they will have in their life. Next, I want to talk about building FOMO, right? How about you say that you're going to launch this certain collection, and it's going to be the first reveal, but I'm pretty sure this one a lot of you must already be doing, but had to be mentioned. Lives should be always in time before a big event or a season, right? So let's talk about Valentine's Day. There'll be so many people who, on the 5th of Feb, will not have an outfit to wear. And they may not even know until 10th of Feb that they're going out. And so if you have a live right before it, and that they can place an order and get their outfit in time, nothing like it. Now, I want to also, before I move on from this slide, talk about live selling one on one, right? It has been supremely successful for a lot of Indian brands who are selling in the US. And they do a lot of one on ones with people where they actually take in your request, understand what you want to wear, showcase garments. There is a lot of conversion in one on one live selling because it's not just like watching some content and maybe I'll shop. It's I have to buy this and I want to do this live session right now. Planning your live session, right? Couple of things to do. I wouldn't say that the live session more than this session should be more than 30 to 35 minutes long. The best day to do it, I don't think weekdays would be a good idea. And I don't think Saturdays would be a good idea either. I think Sundays and afternoon, right after lunch, when you're literally not doing anything, you're lying in bed, you could be shopping. Your introductions, when lives start, often if the lives take too much time to dive into the product, people lose interest and they exit. So a lot of times brands want to wait for everyone to join in and then they're going to start showing the products. I'd say no. Maybe you show the less important products, but you start right there and you start showing product. Lighting, I feel like everything should be art directed it should be like a proper show, right? So how you organize your store, how you organize different sections and how they should be viewed. The live session should have that much of art direction. So I remember putting a stand on my right and another stand on my left, and there were two people standing who were giving me the outfit. I would show the outfit and I wouldn't just place it down because it would look messy. I would actually hand it over to another person who would fold and keep it back. If I had to show price tags, which is some of the very important questions people have, is what is the price of this garment? And the second most common question I've seen is, can you measure the waist or can you measure this for me? So I would say that right before the live, maybe you want to ask some of the customers walking into the store that what is it that they really want to know about a garment when they're not physically looking at it. And finally, I think talking about all the things you need right there, I'd say a measuring tape, hangers, tripod, a ring light. Tripod for sure. A lot of the times I've seen brands going a little impromptu and using their handheld camera. It shakes a lot. If it's shaking, your audience is going to get a headache and they're actually going to exit the live. It's such minute things that make us exit, right? Like it's such subtle aspects of it. Something that I learned in public speaking, and I'd like to share that it can be easily applied to a live session, is that how you are feeling and how you are talking and your energy is so important in a digital live session, because our neurons in the brain tend to mimic the neurons of the person speaking. And live selling is pretty much like public speaking. So if you're excited, you're happy about your product, they are going to be excited and they're going to feel happy watching you. I was actually watching a live session today and the lady was so bored. She's like, this is another dress and this is another dress and then this is another dress. And there was just no excitement. And I saw so many people come in and exit the live. If you can get a volunteer to come in and like maybe switch garments and come into the live, switch again, come into the live, that adds a lot of dynamic movement without the camera moving. And it adds a lot of excitement. Oh, something's happening right now. It's not just one person talking continuously for so many minutes and showing you a garment. What's the good time for showing a garment, right? So I really thought about this, and I know that like the Chinese benchmark is like some 5 seconds or 14 seconds, right? I would say 20 to 30 seconds is good time per garment. if you're trying to show about 10 to 15 styles. And then what you can do is go back to some of the styles. I've always seen that text messages will start rolling in and they'll say, can you go back to that garment? Um, and that often tends to be the process. Okay, post the live, right? What should you do once your live is done? Play a game, right? Let's say you want people to come visit your store, right? So say text in the comments during the live what you like, and we'll keep a try on bag ready for you, right? Or ask them to send a heart every time they like a product, and ask one team member to track the hearts and book a try on appointment for that person. So now they have like a commitment that they need to come and they need to try on that product. I was sharing this video on the right because if you've had some nice moments from from the live, you can actually convert that into a reel and share that on social media platforms. You can also use that to make invites for your next live session. I would say always talk about the number of garments you sold during the previous live, because that builds a lot of confirmation bias. People want to be a part of something that's successful. People want to buy from stores that sell out. So you want to talk about how many dresses you sold, what was the response. Be a little bit more transparent with your customers about it. This was one of the videos that did really well. And Lakshmi Ben, she was one of the artisans that actually made the product. And she would often come into the live and be a part of it and showcase how the product is made. Now, I understand that a lot of your suppliers are quite far away from you, but if there is a graphic designer or somebody else in the team who's been involved in making the product, if they can share, you can have a little bit of a segment in your live or a separate live altogether, which is not for sales that day. Then that's a different live, and it'll drive a lot of traffic to your website. Again, I think I want to show the example of a reel we made out of a live, or out of a series of lives, right? Just took like a clipping of each live and then made that into like a weekdays of the week. This was our store manager at the time, actually. And it built so much excitement for the store. People got to know her. People wanted to go and meet her at the store. Um, I think using that content and then reusing it in many, many different ways is super, super important. This was one of the lives we did where we talked about a product that went wrong, right? So I'm trying to give you ideas about how you can be transparent about what's going on in the store. And we actually designed packaging for this particular product that broke in the packaging. So we're talking about trying to be sustainable in our packaging and failing to do so. uh, it's so natural for people to connect with authenticity as opposed to somebody always just selling products to them. I remember getting immense amount of feedback and reach on things like this. There are a lot of questions.
Yes.
I'm gonna dive right in. So,
Yep.
how do you think Today offer fits into the story for a sustainable brand? So, I ran a sustainable brand for 7 years, and the one thing I learned is that a sustainable brand actually needs to follow all the marketing tactics of a normal brand, right? Because you're trying to compete with a normal brand. You can be sustainable in many, many ways, right? You're not trying to cause overconsumption. Maybe make sure that you're telling them that please make a mindful purchase. If you're sustainable in your supply chain, if you're sustainable in your materials, that person is going to go and buy a dress, right? Maybe not from you. They're going to go and buy from a fast fashion brand because they're going to deliver and they will have a today offer. So, what I've realized is behavioral change is not very easy. And I've actually launched 3 sustainable businesses in the last few years. And I've realized that you have to adapt the business to the behavior that is predominant at the moment, and you do the right thing as a business. Um, I'm from the US and sell wigs. How do you suggest we get more new people to join our lives? Online live sales, wig industry is very competitive. I would assume so as well, but I would say that maybe you can have two sections. One is just showing different wigs and a little bit of ASMR, right? Maybe if you're going to do like things like that, run your hands through the wigs, and that's when people will can feel what they want to touch, right? They want to touch the hair. And so I would simply put wig after wig and do and run my fingers through each and every wig. The second thing I could do to sell wigs live is actually do a hairstyle session, right? Maybe different types of braids live in that session. Um, I would also say that you could show them how the color of the wig would look indoor and outdoor. So you could take the camera and the wig out and in for each of the wigs, and that may people may find that interesting. uh, how are wigs made? Maybe a session on that, right? That would also be very interesting because I don't know how a wig is made. um, do you utilize Shopify? Yes, I have used Shopify always. um, when our Ayurvedic business, how can you do live selling? I have seen a brand in the Ayurveda business do live selling from their factory. They actually walk through the garden where the herbs are being grown, and then they actually showcase everything in a reel made out of very polished content. Is not as real as seeing the factory, and you can actually say factory tour as a live selling thing, right? No, what I'm trying to say is that not every live has to be a product live. It can still drive traffic and sales, even if it's a process live.
I just have a question. I
Yeah.
mean, we just went all into live selling, so I was just thinking, like, I mean, I've been, doing a lot of research on the customer acquisition cost and how retention can play a key role, uh, especially with live selling. And since we can see the attendees, right? So most of them are from Vajro, and I was just thinking, how do you think, uh, let's say, like, how a live selling can contribute to, building lasting customer relationships? Uh, so what's your take on that, Kirti?
I think they feel like they've met you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's a very, very strong bond. Um, I would
Mm-hmm.
say that a lot of first time customers would convert who have been apprehensive of buying online, and that
Mm-hmm.
now they know you. Maybe they've been coming to the store and now they know you online, and now they're comfortable going from that medium to buying online. So I mean, I don't know if there's a direct way to measure the CAC. Maybe on your app you can track the sales during a
Mm-hmm.
live session. uh, the cost of doing a live is the hour of your life, right? So
Correct.
I would say that that's okay, right? The amount of money we spend on ads, the
Mm-hmm.
ROAS on is quite weak. So I would say that a live is a pretty positive thing to try.
That's that's interesting, and that's really great. Uh, there's one more. Oh yeah, we have one more from Anuja. So any
Okay.
extra tips,
Uh,
to make
so
people coming for?
I am gonna, request you to look up a drip campaign, and what that means, Anuja. It's a very detailed way of reinforcing the invite, and it's a conversational way of reinforcing it by not saying the same thing again and again and again, but a new piece of information after information. And it should be planned very strategically. So maybe 2 weeks earlier and then 1 week earlier on the weekends, and then maybe 3 days, then the night before, and then the hour before, and maybe even like 5 minutes before the session. And that really, really works. And I think that would be my biggest, I know I already spoke about it, but that's the biggest thing to do right now. What else, Gideon? Do you have a suggestion on how to make them come?
I think I agree with the pointers that you shared, but again, I think consistency is key in this case, right? Uh, Again, if you ask me, I'm a newbie to live selling and especially
I'm thinking
bringing
that
people
now
back.
that I pass the question to you, maybe the notification that your app sends that the brand is live now, that's a great way
Yeah,
for ensuring that people are going to come.
that's again a great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but again, one more question, like a follow-up to what you said, is there are many folks who haven't tried live selling yet, especially, with Vajro. It's like super simple to go live right from Vajro's dashboard. So what do you think is gonna convince or push them to actually, try at least, like a session going live?
Yeah. I'm just going to take the questions here. I see more have
Sure,
come.
sure.
Uh, do you have any suggestions on the IG handles we can follow to get inspired for checking our live sessions? I would say that more than Instagram, YouTube is doing a fantastic job of live selling. There are a lot of stores that are doing incredible work. I think that do you have some stores on the app where people can watch live sessions by other brands? There a public way to view them, Gideon?
Uh, yeah, we do have something called as Rewind, where people can view the past sessions right from the mobile app. So in case I miss a session, let's say I get a notification on my mobile app, but I'm unable to view it live, I can still, watch it back.
But say I'm not a customer of a certain boutique, but I'm doing research and I want to see the live sessions of that boutique. Can I download the
Mhm.
Vajro app and
You can still, view all the past live sessions right from the app.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think that would be a great place because this is a live selling app, right? And that would have the most amount of live selling sessions. Are there specific storytelling techniques that work well in convincing the benefits and uniqueness of Ayurvedic products during a live session? I would say that stories work well always, right? That's why I was talking about how the product is made or how, where it was made. Ayurveda, for one. Um, I think what's really important there is that is there a proof that this works, right? So a lot of the times you'll see ads where someone with great hair is doing the live session and they're selling hair oil. It's going to be directly correlated. It's just like an ad, right? Like a live selling session is just like an ad. So proof, do you have social proof? Do you have other people maybe walking behind the live who are also using that product? It's really like an ad.
that's nice.
Based on your expertise, which pre-planning approaches have demonstrated the greatest effectiveness in generating excitement and anticipation for the live selling event? I think reels, videos of that, sharing that I am launching a red collection for Valentine's Day in the live session, where people want to come for that, has garnered the most amount of excitement for the live selling. Um, on the day of the live selling, making sure that I am selecting the right products to show, which is super, super important. If you're not showing the best 10, 15 products that are likely to be sold on that day, people are not that excited.
That's true. I hope that answers your question well. Just maybe another minute, Kirti,
Yeah,
since we
yeah,
are having a lot of questions.
no problem at all.
Again, I just wanted to reiterate my question earlier. Like, since
Yeah,
um, hosting a live session has become much easy compared to the days in the past. Like right now, all they can, uh, have to do is just come into Vajro and just go live, right? We were discussing about this before as well. Like they can go live from their mobile app, as well as at the same time they can be live on Facebook as well. So uh,
yeah,
they have they have leverage, especially here with the tech. But
yeah.
all they need to do is try something different and unique so
Hmm.
that they can pull in the audience, right?
You know, Gideon, you won't believe me. A friend of mine, her mother is such a big fan of this guy who sells saris live that they go to a different city on holiday to actually go to the store to meet this guy. They're
Oh
all
wow,
fans of this guy. Yeah, and he like
that's crazy.
opens, yeah, he opens garment after garment and he showcases it, and he's such a star now that people actually travel to the city as a holiday to go see this live selling person.
Wow, that's actually crazy. Maybe
Ludhiana
you should
somewhere.
share more details. Yeah,
Yeah, Ludhiana. I'm going to ask my friend, ask her mother, who's this favorite live seller.
that's awesome. That's such an inspiration, for someone to get started.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we have one more question. Yeah,
Yeah, I spoke about the time duration. It shouldn't be more than 20 to 30 minutes. Shorter the better, but not too short because you're not showing much. So I would say plan it between 20 to 30 minutes. And if you had to
that's
do the structure, like I said, that don't do like, you're waiting for everyone to come in because half of the people who are there will leave. So dive right into the products, uh, just say, This is what I'm showing you today. These are the sections," and go ahead, start showing. And then by the time you see that more people have joined in, and now it's the peak of all different kinds of people, you can start taking questions.
clear, and hope that answers your question, Preeti. And wow, I never, expected, people from the Ayurveda background to actually express their interest in life selling, right? So that
Yeah.
was uh,
Yeah.
really, really interesting.
Yeah. Ashwin, I would say Sunday afternoon would be a great time for live selling, because I would say that weekdays to watch video with audio is tough. Um, and nighttime would be a good time as well, like right before sleeping. But again, people don't like watching video with audio on weekdays. So I would say weekends, and I wouldn't take in Saturdays. So Sunday afternoon, according to me, would be the best time.
Great. Again, let's say Kirti, I've started going live, almost like a couple of days a week, and I keep doing it in a more consistent way. Is there anything you would recommend? Let's say I'm doing it for a year. Is there anything that you would say, uh, Gideon, you need to do this in a different manner as you go down the road so that the users are more, interested and more engaged rather than, being bored? What would you suggest? Like maybe like a couple of hacks or secret tips from your arsenal.
Plus, I
So
would say
what?
that, I wouldn't recommend more than once a week.
Okay, that's
Right?
good.
If you're doing more than once a week, then maybe you can do a one-on-one live session with a couple of customers or one customer, right?
Uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh.
because that would mean that you're converting somebody specifically. Because honestly, we don't have that much content, right, to share. or those many garments within the week. The merchandising is limited.
Correct, correct.
Like, for example, the wigs business, they won't have that many every week to show. I would say for them, it would be once a month.
Got it, got it. I think that one goes to Lowry. So, I mean, Wix is again something really interesting. I would love to see like a how-to video on how Wix
Even
are made.
yeah, even I want to see it definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we have one more question from Will. Uh, so Will just wants to know what is the optimal
Yeah,
number of products to showcase
yeah,
during a live selling session.
yeah. I also had that. It's 10 to 15 products in 20 to 30 minutes.
Again, before we wrap up the show, thank you so much, Kirti. You've been such an amazing guest and speaker. Thank you so much for deep diving into things and just showcasing it to all the attendees. I'm quite sure that they will like they will have found a lot of things interesting, and there will be a lot of takeaways. Kirti, any last words to the folks who are
Oh,
still there with us?
it's great for me also to just run through live selling again. Um,
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about doing it again. Maybe I should
Uh-huh.
volunteer at a friend's business and go do some live selling now. But yeah,
Definitely.
lovely meeting all of you. Please feel free to reach out anytime on LinkedIn, Instagram, or just my email. And I'm very happy to help you find a solution to your question or to any content or AI image question you have.